But I heard that the reason he was killed was that he was too sexy to be president. And a very close friend told me that. And I think he's a reliable source. His name is Crippled Jesus. And he hasn't steered me wrong yet.
Does that mean you can never be president?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Damn it.
It's time to hack the movies. Today, we're talking about tapes with Tony and Newt and Crystal.
Talking about tapes.
Am I the only one who doesn't have an alien shirt on?
You have Alien 3 hat on.
Oh, that counts.
There you go. It
That
counts. And this is how we start the episode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking About Tapes. I'm here with Newt and Crystal. I don't even introduce you guys anymore.
No, people know.
I think we know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're ever properly introduced, but
It's true.
This is
You
my
need to-
co-host Newt and our co-host Crystal, and we're talking about Mars Attacks.
We're
Smart.
equal co-hosts.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Really?
Women are extremely equal.
I wasn't making this a sexist thing. I was saying because you like the third. I'm the co-host. I am the co-host.
I mean, you guys are both below mint salad, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
The greatest. And people, based on the amount of comments I get, I never read them, but I see the name. I think Mint Salad's the most popular person on the show.
Here's my
absolutely.
fault. I actually watched the movies that we're reviewing, so that's my fault.
You're an idiot. You should have pulled a Mint Salad. Anyway,
Mars Attacks.
Enough about Mint. Let's talk about Mars.
Yeah.
Mars Attacks. I really like this film.
Yes.
Saw it in the theaters. I've gone on to learn that I was one of the few people who saw it in the
Me
theaters.
too. Yeah.
It pretty much does everything I wanted to do. This is probably like the most.
Oh my god. Well, all right. Well, are we still?
No, leave it.
sit down, sit down.
Leave it.
Are we still equal?
Newt, you're getting a promotion. See, because that VHS copy, I think, is Newt's.
Yes.
You dropped my personal DVD
Yeah.
copy of the movie.
Chuck
I
it.
bought this at Kmart
I was.
back when the movie came out, and I've had this one.
Kmart?
Yeah.
Let's look
Yep.
at the year. It wasn't 1996.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you were. How old were you when you went to go see it in the
I
theater?
would have been 6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I
feel like that's
was
like
excited about this movie because I had the cards when I was. They did reissues of the cards. Since then, I have 3 of the originals. They're not in great shape, but I have them in cool protective things because they're worth money. I'm wearing the shirt with the original bubblegum wrapper. This movie, it's not perfect.
I was going to say, this is probably one of the more accessible Tim Burton movies outside of like Batman.
Yeah, it went through a lot of writers, and I feel like it was one draft away from being a classic, you know? But
I think it's fine.
I think it's
script-wise,
classic.
I think maybe the timing and the marketing might have worked.
And because they were
against
fighting,
it.
because they knew Independence Day was coming out, so it was a rush to get. There you go. It was a rush to get which
Please
one.
Don't throw this one.
Yeah. Oh my God! So she just
And
breaks
don't
it.
break the mic. You came in here bragging about how great of a co-host you are. You're throwing my stuff, you're hitting my mic.
Fucking hurricane.
What kind
Crystal.
of jerk would break the audio equipment?
Yeah.
I didn't know I could do that.
Keep going.
So I was a big fan of the cards when I was younger. There was also at the same time. These got reissued. They were doing dinosaur attacks cards.
Yes.
Remember those?
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
They were super gory, like in outer space, like a scientists are working on a way to like look through time, and they accidentally open a portal, and dinosaurs go to America, well, the whole world, and the cards were like Mars Attacks, but it's all dinosaurs like fucking shit up, and they were super gory, and I just loved those when I was a kid, and I remember this was like 89, 90. This is around the same time that like the Garbage Pail Kids, like all the churches were like,
Right.
don't let your kids play with these.
We have Garbage Pail Kids, a shit ton of them over
Yeah,
there.
so, and I used to collect like cards from movies and like the Marvel cards I fucking love.
I have books of them.
Yeah.
We still have to do that Patreon video where we go through all my Marvel cards.
But yeah, so I had all of these, and I remember like they'd telling my mom like, you need to take those away from him. They're gonna corrupt them. They're like, that's what dinosaurs would do if they were around people, you know. This was well before we found out about the Creationism Museum and what really happened.
Right.
I don't think that's what corrupted you as a kid either. Like,
But no, the aliens in this movie have probably the most perfect alien design of anything.
They are pretty good.
It's great.
The concept of this movie, of these cards, this movie, the toys which I've had, it's influenced a lot of shit that I've done since then.
Yes.
I wrote a screenplay called Mars vs. Cheerleaders that
Right.
Crystal was in, and we'll show part of that, which was directly inspired by this.
5, 6, 7, 8. Who do we eviscerate?
This movie came out right after Ed Wood, which is my favorite film of all time.
Which was also not financially successful. Critically.
No.
Critically,
wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
One,
Yeah.
Well, because he's like, I'm going to make a black and white movie. And they were just like, what? No. Like,
That's back when you can like trust a director.
yeah.
And then I guess Hollywood trusted a few too many directors. And like, all right, we got to.
And now Tim Burton's just in autopilot and he's like,
Yeah.
Dumbo, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Alice in Wonderland is the ugliest movie I've ever seen in my entire
It was
life.
nominated for like fucking.
It is the
Production design.
murkiest, ugliest, it's diarrhea on screen. But
What
this
did
one,
Tim Burton do after Corpse Bride?
right, so it went this, Sleepy Hollow, Planet of the Apes,
Yep, great.
Big
great.
Fish, which
Big Fish, really good.
the
Amazing.
last 10 minutes of Big Fish makes me cry every time I see
I mean,
it.
what the fuck doesn't make you cry? To be honest,
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he went from that to I think Corpse Bride,
Charlie and the
Chocolate
Chocolate
Factory.
Which I didn't mind.
Yeah, but then like the.
But
I'm
this
trying to
Sweeney
figure
Todd.
out when.
I like Sweeney Todd. You and I
Sweeney
saw
Todd
that
was
loved
together.
it.
Yeah.
I
But
love
then,
Sweeney Todd.
yeah, then he started doing shit.
But it was like
yeah.
there's like a point where it just went downhill, and I'm a
Dark
huge.
Shadows.
Dark Shadow. Yeah, man.
Oh, that was bad.
I
Yeah.
love Tim Burton. But
Oh,
it's
me too.
Before a certain time period.
It's. I mean, Ed Wood is my favorite movie of all time. Batman is the reason
Oh my
I got
God.
into
Edward
filmmaking.
Scissorhands.
Edward
Like,
Scissorhands. But this
beautiful.
this is the spiritual successor to Pee-wee's Big Adventure. They're
Little
him.
bit, yeah.
They're
Yeah,
him
I can
taking
see it.
all of his toys and laying them out and playing with them.
Yeah.
And it helps when you are. He's coming off of Ed Wood, and there's a lot of Ed Wood isms in this because
Yeah.
he's intentionally making a cult film.
Yeah.
It feels like an Irwin Allen movie with the big weird cast of really well-known celebrities.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Joe Don Baker is in it, and it's just like that. And
Well, Joe Don Baker was a well-known.
he was in James Bond
Like
movies.
I know he
Yeah.
did Schlock, but he was also in a couple James Bonds. He was in Congo. Like you
Which
could
is
put
funny
him in
that
an
he's
A-list movie.
he's in
him
James
anywhere.
Bond movies, which Pierce Brosnan, who's also
Yeah.
in James Bond movies. But it's like I loved Tim Burton when I was younger, and again, Ed Wood. I owe like, you know, there's a story that I'm not going to tell, but Ed Wood saved my life basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in a
The
bad
actual
place.
Ed Wood?
No, he was already dead. But that movie stopped me from doing something very stupid once. So we'll
Yes,
just leave
and
it at
now
that.
you're an alcoholic.
I have water and I have a little bit of Maker's Mark right
Well,
here.
you want to be just like Ed Wood. So
I do.
You're
Yep.
a degenerate
I
alcoholic.
am. So this movie always had a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun B movie. It feels
really is.
It feels like the Towering Inferno. It feels like the Poseidon Adventure.
Yes.
It's got fucking weird shit in it. But let's go into the background of this movie.
Yes.
As I
it's-
said,
it's unfortunate that this didn't do well.
no, not at
Yeah.
all. Because at the end of this episode, I'm going to tell you my sequel idea.
Okay.
So it's
actually
based on
love
the
it.
1960s top trading cards. The makers of Independence Day raced to beat this movie to theaters.
Right.
It was like when the two Lambada movies were going head to head.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Or like
the year we had 2 Cinderella movies.
exactly,
Yeah.
or 2 volcano movies and 2 asteroid movies and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Snow White, not Cinderella.
I
Oh,
know
yeah.
what you meant. Yeah.
The movie was a surprising flop. It only earned 37.7 million in its North
Which
American
is
run.
crazy because look who's in this movie.
I know.
Like
It's
at the time,
just the
Jack Nicholson,
beginning.
Glenn Close, Annette Bening, Pierce Brosnan, Danny DeVito, freaking whatchamacallit, Michael
Jack-
J. Fox,
Michael J. Fox, Sarah Michelle Gellar, or not Sarah Michelle Gellar,
Sarah Jessica
Sarah
Parker,
Jessica
who's-
Parker.
who's very beautiful.
very beautiful.
Despite with some people who
Do you
are
think-
co-hosts on the show say
How do you think-
Johanna really likes to throw stones and call her horse face.
Is Ed Wood the first time anyone ever
Johanna,
said
who
that?
has chipmunk cheeks, should not.
Oh my God! Don't you dare make fun of that beautiful face of hers.
So do you think Ed Wood's the first time that someone ever said that though? Because remember in that movie, she's
Yeah.
reading the review and she's like, "Do I really have a face like a
Yeah.
horse?" And I was like, "Ooh, yeah, but like Jack Black's in this movie, Christina Applegate's
Yeah.
in this movie, Tom Jones is in
Barely.
this movie,
There was no reason to get Christina
No.
Applegate because she has like no character.
Pam
It's
Grier
okay.
is in this
It's okay.
movie.
Yeah.
Pam Grier,
Natalie
Brown.
Portman is in this
it's
movie.
just you see Jack Black?
Yeah,
Like,
but that's why.
And of course, Ray J, who we all know from Moesha.
Yes, not that other tape that I saw.
I'm not familiar with what you're talking about. He also makes Raycon earbuds.
Yes, he does.
And I would love to say nice things about them, but they're not a
paying us.
sponsor.
Yeah.
So let's keep going.
So, the writers weren't sure what the Martians would sound like, so they just wrote "ack ack ack"
That is my
in
favorite
the
fact.
thing and
Love
said
it.
they'll fill it in later, and they just stuck with it. So I have a T-shirt that's the '60s Batman logo,
Yeah.
but it's the Martian head. And instead of saying Batman, it says
says
"ack
ack,
ack." Also, I have the picture of you and I in front of the Colonial Theater. We'll put it right here. Even though the movie's set in the 1990s, the U.S. Army and all the cops are using equipment and uniforms from the 1950s.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that's like, it's just, it has a set period, but it's just merging everything. Batman was kind of like that too. Yeah.
But it keeps with that B-movie kind of feel
Yeah.
to the entire thing. It's the last theatrical film to have Michael J. Fox appear in it, physically, not as an animated
Oh, I was gonna say,
character,
I'm
because
like,
I don't know
Atlantis.
about that, but
Yeah. And the two Stuart Little movies.
right.
Yeah.
Which we have. We have both Stuart Little movies.
Jack Nicholson accepted the role without reading the script, but Tim Burton was
That's
told
fantastic.
by his people, you cannot kill Jack Nicholson in a movie. So Tim Burton and Jack Nicholson went, you're going to play two characters, and we're going to kill both of them.
Yes.
I don't even get that. Why would that even be a rule?
Because he's like a big star.
But he's died in movies.
I guess
He died
that
in
was like
Batman.
a
He died
thing
in
they
The
wanted.
Shining.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently, because if you know the
Like,
story,
does he die in The Shining?
That's true.
Well, according to Dr. Sleep, he does. But
Yeah.
anyway.
But if you know the story of Batman '89, Jack Palance bullied Tim Burton because Tim Burton had never directed like a big movie before.
Yeah.
And Jack Palance was like brutal to Tim Burton, and Jack Nicholson basically was like, "This ain't gonna happen." And then Jack Palance was like, "Oh fuck, I'm no Jack Nicholson," you know.
Amazing.
So the Martian Girl was modeled after a mashup of Marilyn Monroe and The Bride of Frankenstein.
That's pretty funny.
That's
My
awesome.
favorite one, and I knew about this when it happened. So Howard Stern noted similarities from an earlier skit that he had done. Fred and Howard did a segment in 1982 called Slim Whitman versus the Midget Aliens from Mars. I call them little people. It was 1982.
That's
it
what
was
Howard
a different
Stern
time.
said.
Howard Stern said it, in which Slim Whitman's singing was used as a weapon to destroy aliens. So that's basically what happens in this movie.
Yeah.
And Tim Burton was doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, maybe, and he went on and he told him what happened. And Tim Burton was like, "Oh, you should have sued me." But this is the second time because remember Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes ends with a monkey head on Abe Lincoln's body.
Yeah.
That is right out of Kevin Smith's Chasing Dogma comic.
Yeah.
And
Which
then-
to be fair, I don't think Tim Burton knew anything about it.
well, because
No.
Tim Burton said he's like, I don't read comic books and I would never read anything by Kevin Smith. So Kevin Smith started.
said that?
Kevin Smith started using that quote on
This is, when
things.
Kevin Smith was really funny, just
Yeah.
crying to get a paycheck from Marvel.
Yeah.
That's what he does now.
Yeah. So right off the bat, this is my.
Wait, real quick.
Oh.
When you mentioned Howard Stern, it made
Yeah.
me sad because Howard Stern was like one of my biggest influences.
Yeah.
Your biggest influence?
I loved Howard Stern.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it like I looked up to him and everything, and
That, I grew up listening to Howard Stern on the
Yeah.
radio because that's what my parents always listened
yeah,
to.
he was great.
Yeah.
but
he was
I don't
great.
know about having him as an.
Oh yeah, I love Howard
influence.
Stern. I loved everything he did, and then when I know a lot of people stopped listening when he left terrestrial, but when he went to satellite, that was some of the best years of his show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His show was so good with Artie Lang. It was like the best it's
I
ever
do
been.
love Artie
Yeah.
Lang.
He is horrible now. He should have retired, and
Doesn't he do
didn't.
that show? Isn't he like a.
No, he doesn't even do that anymore.
But no, not the E show. Yeah.
No, America's Got Talent. He
America's
doesn't
Got
do it
Talent.
anymore.
Yeah.
But no, his show it's been really bad for years.
What's making it bad? Because I have not listened to it since I was
Okay,
probably
he's
a
been
kid.
bragging about, and you guys should check out Who Are These Podcasts because they covered it recently. He's been bragging about how he's been doing therapy to better himself for 20 years, and he's now an even worse agoraphobic. He didn't leave his house pre-pandemic, and now he will never leave his home studio, and the show is just unlistenable. He's not relatable at all. Normal people could relate to him
Yeah.
years ago.
No, he was the blue collar.
Yeah, but now
guy.
he's all
Yeah.
I gotta hang out with George Clooney, but I don't want to go outside. It's it's bad.
So now he's just a big baby?
Yeah, and it should be someone should cancel the show, but they don't. Anyway, continue. Sorry, it just makes me sad whenever I hear Howard Stern. I'm like, oh, you should have retired 10 years
Could
ago.
we
Now, like it's a paycheck for him kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
Why do you
he's
need
good,
that money at
though.
that point?
He's good.
You're the king of all media. He was almost
really is,
he was
yeah.
almost fart man.
Yes.
Yes, he
Could
was.
we should do private parts.
I would love to do
I
private
saw that. My
parts.
mom took me to see that in the theater.
I read the
Really?
book and
Yeah,
everything.
yep.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite Danny Elfman scores.
It's good.
The use of the theremin in it especially gives it that 50s.
Danny Elfman didn't score Ed Wood, right? That
No,
was-
so there was a fallout between him and Tim Burton.
Okay.
So Howard Shore did that one.
Right.
And I like the score.
The score's really good.
But I would have preferred, because again, Ed Wood is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
I would have preferred a Danny Elfman score. It's the same thing with Sam Raimi and Danny Elfman. They had a massive falling out.
Christopher Young filled in for Spider-Man 3, yeah.
mhm. And Oz, no, they got back together for Oz the Great and Powerful.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, how does this movie start?
This movie starts. An Asian American farmer, which was cool for the time. I'm
Yeah.
like, huh. Usually, when you set a movie in this setting, you don't usually see it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the guy comes up to me and was like, hey, man, what you cooking?
Yeah.
It smells like barbecue. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then just a herd of cows is on fire. And then a UFO goes back to Mars. And then we find out there's just a ton of Martians.
I love the look of Mars because
Yeah.
we don't see Mars. We just see the angry red planet.
Yes.
And it reminds me of the movie The Angry Red Planet where everything is just bathed in red light. It's a 50s
Yeah.
B movie. There's like a big spider monster on Mars.
Yeah.
And
Mars is not red, by the way.
no, it's not. But I was like, man, I wish we'd see more of Mars in this. It was really
That would
cool.
have been cool. The opening is amazing.
And the music is fantastic. And I like how the UFOs, when they finally start coming, they're all in triangles.
Yeah, they're all
Because this
like-
was
yeah.
around the time of the Phoenix Lights.
Okay.
There was
yeah.
and do you know who called that in?
Who?
Kurt Russell.
what?
Right.
Kurt Russell is a pilot. He was flying his son back from like a basketball game or something, and he called into the Phoenix airport and he's like, "Hey, there's like weird lights in the sky here," and everybody's like, "What?" And then years later, the news broke. He's like, "Oh yeah, that was me," and because Goldie Hawn is like super into UFOs.
Yeah.
And first of all, she's one of my favorite people of all time. So that was cool. They moving that because it was right around that time. I was like, oh, that's so neat. And I love how the center of the UFO is steady
still, yeah.
and everything moves around it. So it reminds me of Earth vs. the Flying Saucers,
Yeah.
which works because originally Tim Burton wanted the Martians to be stop motion like a Ray Harryhausen
Right,
film.
and I think they did the test, and they said, like, in order to do it, it would have ballooned the budget up to $100 million. And they
Yeah.
were like, no.
So they made full-size Martian troopers because they're on display in the Warner Brothers
Well, they
back
have,
lot.
like, the rubber bodies
No,
and
yeah.
stuff in the
so
movie.
I went with one of our producing partners, Joe Chapman, to Warner Brothers, and we did the whole backlot tour and all that.
Yeah.
And they have the Martians there, so I got
That's
my picture
funny.
taken, and like Tim Burton's original sketches of the Martian girl and stuff. It was super cool. So
Yeah,
bet it
I would
was
love
cool.
to see the test
that was
footage.
you couldn't go that day. You
They
had-
got to do so much cool stuff without me.
we're gonna go
I'm
back in
always
November.
forgotten.
Anyway, I would love to see some of the test footage of that.
Yes.
I would love to see if it was, like, good or if it, like, looked terrible.
Well, I mean, somebody like Henry Selk would have done it,
Yeah.
who did Nightmare Before Christmas.
Which he wasn't able to.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but I was like, it would have been really cool to see somebody like that's interpretation of this.
I
But,
think I
um,
would have liked the claymation version. Almost.
I don't know,
I'm curious. Like,
because the CGI didn't look terrible in
It
this.
didn't
No,
look
because it
not
didn't
at all.
have to look
Exactly.
great, which helps.
And you know
yeah.
that the eyes for the physical one are the eyes of that fucking the ventriloquist guy who does the "I kill you" thing. That annoying ass.
Oh,
the
yeah.
eyes of his like terrorist puppet.
You know what he's. Wait, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
Jeff Dunham.
Yeah.
Jeff Dunham.
There-
The
okay.
eyes of that
Yeah.
are that. Just like Chucky's eyes are the Crypt Keeper's eyes
That's
on the
funny.
HBO show. So
That's
yeah.
funny. So yeah, I love we meet the president,
Jack Nicholson.
And I just love everyone. He's like talking to his advisors, and Martin
Martin Short, yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
"This is great.
Yeah.
We got to do it on the news and talk about it." And then the general, who is that the guy from End of Days?
It's Rod Steiger. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. The general says, sometimes in dreams, Mars appears. It's like that. No, he's like, we have to attack him right now. We
Yeah.
have to kill him right
And
now.
he's right. He's 100%
He is
right.
right.
Well, screw the press. This is a need-to-know situation. We should make it top secret, and we should move in right away with DEFCON 4.
Mr. President, we cannot sit on this.
Newt, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm getting ready to shave my balls at the counter with these horrifyingly sharp objects. If only there was a better way.
Try the lawnmower 4.0.
Oh, I did try a lawnmower once, and I was in the hospital for a week.
No, the lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped. Support for Hack the Movies is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0.
Did I hear that right?
You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code HACKTHEMOVIES at manscaped.com. What do you think about that, Newt?
It's great.
Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I'm one of the first people to try out the new Lawnmower 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship, the details on the 4.0 are next level. Newt, you know how rough it is shaving your balls.
I do.
You do. I remember that one time you tried waxing and you just ripped the skin out and your testicles spilled out. And now you don't even have one of your balls. And it was pretty sad. I'm always scared when I'm shaving my balls that the razors are going to cut everything open and then I'll be ballless like you. But the Lawnmower 4.0 is actually really good. It's really good. I feel safe down there. And that baby cuts everything. It's very smooth. Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and the incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I now feel confident shaving my boys. This upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim through additional guard lengths with the sizes 1 through 4. Did I mention wireless charging?
You did not. Why are you keeping secrets from me?
The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. If you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it all wrong. Mostly nobody wants pubes in their mouth. It's time to get your own ball, hair, and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HACKTHEMOVIES at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HACKTHEMOVIES at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code HACKTHEMOVIES. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. And then not Colin Powell is just like,
I know.
I don't know what to do. And then, of course, we meet Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
Fresh off of his, James Bond stuff. There's so many big actors just in, kind of supporting
But
roles.
that's what was so fun about this.
Yeah.
Again, because it feels like Earthquake. It feels like the Towering Inferno.
Yeah.
You know, they
Then I love he's just like, well, they're probably fine. What did he say? I think I have
Of course, he says the advanced civilization is not barbaric.
Yes, of
Yes.
course. Of course,
Yes.
the British guy would be like, well, an advanced civilization would never hurt. Yeah, okay. Some revisionist history there from Pierce Brosnan. Anyway.
I was going to make fun of also that Natalie Portman's name is Taffy in this movie, but then I remembered my name is Newton.
Yeah. I love that
Yeah,
they,
make fun of
Tim tried to fit in a goth girl, and he couldn't get it. And the closest we get is she's wearing black and white striped socks, and that's the most Tim Burton-y look that they got in this
Yup.
movie. But I feel like he wanted her to be like Lydia Dietz, but
little
they were
bit.
like, nah, make her more like Chelsea Clinton, I guess.
She was just I liked her role in that. I think she did it well.
So I love we go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we meet Jim Brown as the
Jim
fighter.
Brown, yep.
There's just a bunch of nuns who are really big fight fans.
Yeah. He's like, were you always nuns? They're like, no, but we've always been big fight fans. And again, this is what it feels like an exploitation movie. Jim Brown was an amazing football player, and then he stopped to do action movies and exploitation movies and stuff like that. And these movies back then, you would have like this cast and then O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
And it would be one of those types of things,
Yeah.
you know?
He was great.
He was really good in this movie, yeah.
And then, because we're like just meeting all of our characters right
Yeah.
now.
And apparently originally there was going to be 60 characters.
Jesus Christ.
And they were like, can we just do 20?
Yeah.
Felt like when you're watching all the names of all the celebrities, it feels like 60. But you're
you're
just like, oh shit, that person's in
Yeah.
it. Oh shit, that person's
You're coming
in
off of Ed Wood.
Yeah.
Martin Landau won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Rick Baker won an Academy Award for doing Bela Lugosi's makeup and all that. Well, not Bela Lugosi, doing the makeup
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
Bela
yeah, yeah.
Lugosi on Martin Landau. So everybody wanted to work with him at this point.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really cool that you're just like, oh yeah, come and do this little part in this dumb movie. You know?
And then Jim Brown's wife is Pam Grier.
who I have had a crush on Pam Grier since I was 10 years old.
We should do Jackie Brown. at
We
some
should.
Yes.
Coffee was on Prism one night, and I had never seen breasts like that in my life, and I was like, well, I guess I know what I like.
And then we meet the other Jack Nicholson.
The other Jack, who's great.
some shady casino guy who's making his own casino. And
Yeah.
He's like scouting out, and he's married to Annette Bening.
Annette Bening, who was supposed to be Catwoman.
And then she got pregnant.
She got pregnant. She had to drop out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Oh yeah, they started like designing like the stuff for her and whatnot.
And then Sean Young showed up and scared everybody, and Tim Burton hid under the desk
Oh,
in his
yeah,
office.
that was the thing.
Because she's insane.
Yeah. But I love Annette Bening. She's like just super annoying. She's like the environment and
Yeah.
blah. And then you find out she's like recovering alcoholic.
Yeah.
Ah,
But I love like she's like, you're a horrible person. Like here's some money. Don't bet on black.
Yeah. He's like, here, go put some money on our anniversary.
date.
But I love he's just sleazy. He's got the
Yep.
cowboy hat, the fake nose, and again, this is Jack fucking Nicholson.
Yeah.
You know, and he trusts the director enough to go like, yeah, let's play two fucking
Yeah.
dumbass characters. You know,
It's so funny. And then,
amazing.
I think at this point, what we call it, the other Jack Nicholson is doing his speech about extraterrestrial life,
Yeah.
and we're meeting more characters. We meet who's the main like kid, the long hair guy. What's that?
Lucas
actor's name?
Haas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who is? He's the ultimate. I think I've seen that guy in something.
Yeah. Mhm.
What is he? So what has he been in?
I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
Off the top of my head, I know he was in the beginning of Inception.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's in a terrible movie of Kim Basinger's. Awful. Yeah, he's
He's just been in a lot of
he's
stuff.
one of those guys.
Mhm.
Okay.
And yeah, so he's working with the Latina lady, and they're
Yeah.
looking at the speech and
TV,
whatnot. I think.
yep.
He's fascinated by donuts.
Yeah, he
Well,
loves
he works at a
donuts.
donut
I know.
place.
And
yeah.
then his parents.
And is that the same one? It's the same sign that's in LA. Because remember Iron Man is in it and Iron Man 2.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's not that one because they're in like.
They use
Yeah.
a lot of iconic Vegas places.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then Joe Don Baker is his dad.
Yep.
And his wife is Olan Jones.
Yes.
I love Olan Jones.
Yeah, me too. And again, it's just another one of those, oh, it's that person.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
Olan Jones makes a little more sense. She was in Edward Scissorhands. She's the religious neighbor.
Yep.
And then
Their son.
yeah, their son
Also,
is Jack,
Jack
Black.
And
Yep.
who's his
Who was
gr-
another at the time this movie came out? He
such
was
a baby
oh,
in
yeah, I've seen
it.
that guy and stuff.
Oh, he
was such a
was in the
baby.
Neverending Story 3.
yeah.
He was in that Pitfall commercial
Right.
on the Atari.
And then
Yeah.
his girlfriend was Christina Applegate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think she has any lines.
And then when
Doesn't.
they drop him off at the bus station,
Yeah.
you can't even see her face half
I
the
know.
time.
Yeah.
So this is
Oh,
This is like the
and
best
the grandmother is Juno from
Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach, I don't think we survived that crash. Oh, you don't think?
She's fantastic. Oh, I think she was probably one of my favorite characters in this entire movie.
She's so cute. Like,
Oh, she's fantastic.
And then I love when Pam Grier's driving the bus and she sees her kids skipping school, which I found out Sean told us one is Ray J and the other kid is one of the kids from Space Jam. But
okay.
yeah, Pam Grier like stops the bus to discipline her kids and then throws them back in the bus and everyone claps for her. I'm like, if I was on that bus, I'd be like, what the hell are you
Hey,
doing?
I would have clapped. Are you kidding me?
hey, Foxy
Absolutely.
Brown, I got to get to work.
Nope. Because you just see she just went up and like kicked her kids out.
But I like
hell
how
no.
they're playing the game where they're shooting aliens because
Yeah.
that's going to come back later.
And they
Yes.
do it
Were there
again
any
too.
other-
They do it twice.
Yeah, were there any other arcade cabinets in that?
Afterburner, man.
Okay.
I love Afterburner. Fucking game is great.
You know what I think about that? Video games are for children.
Yeah,
and
but
I do
arcade
not play
games
them.
are different.
Huh?
Arcade games are different.
I guess so.
Because if you're in an arcade, you're there. You went there under your own volition. You're there for a specific reason.
Look, video games are for children, and no one should play them. By the way, check out AVGN 1 and 2 Deluxe
and Eagle Island.
Twist.
Yeah, please, please. I need to keep my job at Screenwave.
But only buy it for your kids. Don't play it.
If I'm not on this show anymore, Crystal won't talk to me anymore.
I don't want to talk to you now.
I love they set up Martin Short being sleazy.
Yeah.
He's
Oh my
like,
God, with
"What's
the
up?"
prostitute.
What's
when he
up,
goes to
ladies?
pick up the three, like the muses from, or the Greek choir from Little Shop of Horror that just so happened to be on the side of the road.
And then we also find out like Michael J. Fox is jealous of his girlfriend because her show is more popular.
And she just does like a style show.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
it's
that's,
fashion.
I love
That's right. She does a style show, but everyone in the whole country only watches her show.
Only watches her show, and she has to have the biggest interviews. And she's the dumbest person in the
and their
world.
dog was actually Tim Burton and Lisa Marie's dog.
Oh,
Really?
I met
Chihuahua,
Lisa
yep.
Marie years ago.
I did too.
My favorite story about her is she auctioned off a bunch of Tim Burton stuff
Yeah.
after he left her.
Yep.
Good for her.
She fondled when I had huge mutton chops at Monster Mania, and I have 2 Ed Wood signed posters in my living room framed, and everyone who was alive from the original Tim Burton people, I have their autographs, and on the bottom is some people from the movie, and she said, sexy mutton chops or something like that. So yeah.
And I met her, and I said, "Hey, can I get an interview with her?" And she went, "No." I was like, "Okay." And I went about my life. I'm like, "All right,
Loved you
very
in Sleepy
straightforward.
Hollow.
thank you."
She was in a movie not too long ago called We're Still Here.
I didn't see that one. Last thing I saw her in was Tales from Halloween.
Okay, yeah.
That was a good one.
I haven't seen. I tried watching a little bit of that. I haven't finished.
good.
She was so. Everyone in Ed Wood is so perfectly cast.
Yeah.
She is such an amazing vampira.
She
It's
is.
insane.
Yeah.
So what's this J.R. Dobbs thing?
Okay, so Pierce Brosnan's character is like this kind of handsome, square-jawed guy with slick back hair, and he has a pipe in his mouth. And I thought that he was supposed to be J.R. Dobbs. And J.R. Dobbs was the face of a parody religion, the Church of Subgeniuses.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a post-pop 50s kind of thing. They're on Mr. Lobo's OSI network.
Okay.
And they were kind of like connected with like Devo back in the day and whatnot.
okay.
So whenever he has the pipe in his mouth, that's just kind of I might be completely wrong and I'm just drawing my own connections to things, but that's kind of what I imagined when I saw it. So Mr. Lobo, if you're watching this, please tell us if I'm right or wrong, and you can be in the episode then when we'll replace Tony with you.
Yeah, we also
Ooh,
We still have
like that.
his
still have your
sash.
landlord's stash.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he only wears Justin did that because he plays the mayor in Coin Slots, an 80s teen sex comedy trailer we wrote that's set in an arcade.
Yeah.
And he plays the mayor, and the only reason you know he's a mayor is he has a sash that says mayor.
What I love about Pierce Brosnan is his character, everything he's saying
Is wrong.
the opposite of truth.
Yes.
But like what
Everyone
he's
just
saying would
listens
probably
to him.
like be what happens in real life, maybe. Like, oh well, they're like this. Clearly, they don't want to do that. And it's just like, no, they're just assholes.
Yeah. Yep. So they have the voice translator,
Yeah.
which is right out of the scene in Plan 9 from Outer Space where the 2 guys are in the office and
Right.
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
doing that whole thing. And again,
How
this
can
was-
anyone be so stupid?
Exactly.
Yeah, what does it tell them? With their translator, it's like 800 years ago. Blah,
And
blah.
he's
It's
like-
giving them like a history lesson.
yeah, but none of it makes sense. And
Because
what's
I
his-
don't think it works right.
Yeah.
I think that's
No, it
the
doesn't.
joke.
And then what's his name is like, what does any of that mean? Like, fucking Rod Steiger's so good in this movie.
Yeah, and I have it here. Annette Bening is
already did that,
Is an
yeah.
annoying liberal SJW, aka a total newt.
Oh.
I guess so.
I love how Lucas loves his grandmother.
He does love his grandmother.
It's like me. I love my
Does.
grandmother.
And the others don't. The parents
They're
are like,
mean to her.
bummer. Yeah, they're
but
obsessed
she's
with
got
their
a
son.
she's got a twinge of Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah.
just a little.
I love when he's like the prettiest pussy cat. It's like a stuffed, terrified looking cat.
Oh, and she keeps calling
She
them
goes to the
Thomas.
house.
Yeah.
Well, my name's Brian. Okay,
But I love.
Thomas.
But the thing I like about this is Lucas Haas is a better fake driver than Jack Death. Jack Death. That's not how you drive a
We
car.
still haven't watched Trancers 2.
I know we're putting it off, man.
Why have we not watched Trancers 2?
Crystal hasn't seen Trancers 1 yet.
Who cares about Crystal?
I care.
She
about
threw
Crystal.
my Mars
Don't.
Attacks DVD and then
I
punched
do.
my microphone.
Yeah, she did. And she's becoming slightly more famous than you.
No.
I'm gonna.
You guys, I could never be as famous as you guys.
That's not what I heard.
I was gonna tell a joke, but not on camera.
I want to hear it. Joe.
I'll tell you afterwards. It's directed at you.
Oh shit.
Fuck.
Yeah. So we get a press conference, and Martin Short's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this," and then whatchamacallit, Jack Nicholson's like, "Any questions?"
Mm-hmm.
And then a person stands up and says, "Do the aliens have two sexes like we do?" Cancel Tim Burton, right?
Yeah,
I
he
think
was
we can all agree.
That has not aged well.
Not age well. Especially when you look at the person who's saying it. It's
Yeah.
I'm like, I still think it's funny as hell.
Yeah.
But I can see how people,
Look, I'm a tired old man, and
Yeah.
I can still get pronouns right on people who want to be called certain pronouns. So, cancel Tony.
I identify as an attack helicopter. Remember that whole thing?
Or remember the person who identified as a deer?
Oh no, that was
What?
the attack helicopter was just a mean thing people were doing. The deer thing was real.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah,
Yes.
let's not
No,
go
we're
into
gonna
it.
keep moving.
Before we all get kicked off Twitch.
Did you say get kicked off in Twitch? Did you forget which platform we're on?
No,
Oh, wait.
no,
no,
I'll explain it
yeah.
afterwards.
Wait.
We'll explain it afterwards.
Explain it afterwards.
So many things have to be said
I know,
after this.
I know.
So Vegas Nicholson, he sees Jim Brown running. He wants to recruit him to
He got no wheels.
yeah. He wants to recruit him to rough people up. I guess so. He was a fighter, and then he was doing that, and that's
Yeah.
what led to his breakup.
Yep.
And he's
'Cause
like,
he-
I
because
can't
from
do
his
that.
divorce,
Yeah,
anymore.
he's like, I'm trying to be a better man. I don't eat pork.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my
Can't believe
favorite.
it, yes.
The only takeaway Jack Nicholson has for this is so he gave up. He pours his heart out. He's like, he gave up pork.
Yes.
Again, Jack Nicholson is so good in this movie because he knows exactly what kind of movie it is. Because Jack Nicholson came from Roger Corman movies. That's how he started. You know?
Love
And then back at the White House, they're debating what to do. Mm-hmm. And then he sends the Colin Powell general. And this upsets Rob Steiger.
Yeah.
Who then goes in the hallway and he says, liberals, intellectual peacemongers,
Idiots!
Oh, I mean idiots! God, I get those two words confused. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
But I love Natalie Portman's like, hey, some people live here.
People live here.
And we forgot to mention Glenn Close is she's trying to redecorate the White House.
Yeah.
And it's like, why don't we just leave the Roosevelt room the way it was? And she's like, yeah, because she had horrible taste.
Yeah. And when the person comes in to take the picture, she pushes aside.
She's just a horrible person.
But I love the Colin Powell guy. He gets a call from his wife. He's like, if I just stayed in place and never spoke up, good things are bound to happen.
Oh my God.
Knowing that he's going to die because he
Yes.
spoke up.
Yes. He was such and then he just goes back to being right quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
So
such a good character.
The spaceship shows up. And I love the hubcap line.
Yeah,
Looks
because
like a
people,
hubcap.
this is a model kit that my friend Steve Mezzo gave me.
Yeah.
That's from Plan 9 from Outer Space,
Yeah.
and people always said, "Oh, they were pie tins, they were hubcaps," and there was a documentary called Hubcaps Over Hollywood.
Yeah.
and it was about Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh, that's on the Ed Wood DVD. I
yes,
think.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that joke is a direct in joke to Plan
Yeah.
9.
But
They
it was
were
not a
actually
hubcap.
no, it wasn't.
No.
They were actually UFO model kits.
Yes.
and they just hung them from fishing
Plan 9
lines.
from
Yeah.
Outer Space was the 1-year anniversary episode of Rental
And
Reviews.
can I tell you that, so James and Justin both said I was going to be in that episode, and then I wasn't in
were.
that episode.
I wasn't clued in on that.
Yeah.
I would have shot that down. I would have been like, you guys want to do a show with Newt?
Yeah,
What
no.
are you talking
And well, then
about?
I was the guy who pulled back the curtain in the Truman Show episode to show that
right.
it was a set.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That was
and
my
I
idea.
pop up in the Rad episode as well. Someone just said that recently. They're like, hey, you pop up in the Rad episode. I was like, I do.
We show Paperboy.
Because, and
Yeah, we
I
show
was like,
Paperboy.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were in there a lot.
that.
You were... Fucking
He doesn't even know.
I know.
Newt went on a more famous channel trying to get his
Oh.
face out there so he could profit from it in the long run.
Yep.
No, because
That's what he
whenever
did.
Justin would use me to give him facts about movies,
I think you're getting a little too personal.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And then I would say, oh, yeah, no, this about this movie. And then it would pop up in the episode and he would give it as it was an original thought of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cancel Justin
Wow.
Silverman.
Justin.
We're gonna
It's like
start
you
it.
guys
We're
are
gonna be
saying
the
Justin's
first.
lazy.
Yeah, we're gonna be the first people to try to cancel Justin
Ever on the internet.
ever
Oh, Justin.
because he's so well liked before this.
I know.
Justy.
Okay, so the aliens show up.
Yeah.
They look
Yeah.
great.
They look
great.
awesome. They
Again-
go right up to the red carpet that they have.
And they look, I know they're meant to not look like super realistic, but they put a lot of attention to
Yeah.
detail on them.
They
They
did.
move a little weird, but that's fine.
I just
But I
the
like
design the design of them is so perfect with the big this island Earth brain.
Yeah,
and the,
Yeah.
but the fact that they had to animate a glass dome and then figure out like reflections
Yeah.
and light.
and they
Well,
have the
done
little
so
the little
well.
things that
Yeah.
wiggle.
Yeah.
And anybody who knows my writing, I'm obsessed with things in glass dome helmets.
Yeah.
Johanna in the Saw
that
episode.
broke recently.
I know it broke. It
I
fell
was
off.
there. It just fell off.
Out of nowhere, we're having a conversation in my office, and the thing just fell
I
off
hate
and
that it's
broke.
broken. I hate it.
I'm obsessed with that. So I had this prop built, and then Johanna's wearing
Yeah.
it in the Saw thing. So every time with this, and the way when they get hit and their heads bounce off the thing,
Yeah.
it's great because whenever I equate things in glass domes to Wally Wood's artwork.
Okay.
He did a lot of original Daredevil comics,
Okay.
but all of his fucking space comics from EC Comics are great. And then years later, did you ever read Fear Agent?
No.
Fear Agent has that kind of like, it's an adult.
You figured out how to put the silence on, and you forgot.
I did. It's over there. So Fear Agent is an adult version of like a Wally Wood comic book with like,
Okay.
yeah. So check that out if you haven't. Whatever. We got off topic.
Yeah. But yeah, they look great, and
They really do.
They have the machine there.
But I like that their like landing thing comes out like a tongue.
Yeah, and she even
It's like,
says
comes
it.
out like a tongue.
Yeah. I love her. Like, so you have Michael J. Fox and Sarah
Jessica Parker.
Jessica Parker, both up there with doing the
She's
news
like,
report.
hi.
He's like
He's like,
embarrassed.
hi, hi.
And he's doing a great interview saying everything so well. And she's just, and we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes out like a tongue.
But then it
While
cuts
holding
to
her
the,
dog.
I love
but then
it.
it cuts to the White House, and that's what
That's
the
what they're
president-
watching.
Yes.
It's like if something was happening on like MSNBC and they're watching the E Network.
Yeah,
you know?
that's exactly.
Like, I was thinking about it, like I never realized how funny that was until today. I'm like, this is another one of those movies that you can revisit and you'll
Yes.
notice a few more things.
Yeah.
Things never change.
Yeah.
And the designs of the sets are great because they also have this like fucking Doctor Strangelove vibe to them. But then certain people are in muted colors, and then the person directly next to them are in blue or green or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that pops. It's got this
Yeah.
great style to it, you
Yeah.
know?
It does.
So the translator comes out.
Yeah.
And they're talking, and they're like, "We come in peace." They come in peace.
What
So
was
was
it? They had
that-
this symbol too. That the one that's like, oh, it's the international signal
Symbol
for
of the donut,
donut.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, was that fucking hippie holding that dove the entire time?
I
Do you
think
think
so.
like the lady next to him's like, what's that dude gonna do with that bird? Like,
Yeah. How did you,
Did you ever,
just?
oh my god, did you ever see that video? It was some like ceremony that was happening, and the kid had to hold the dove and let it go, but he was holding it too tight, and he killed the
Yep.
dove without realizing it. So
Yep.
there came time, and you just see the kid let go of the dove. The dove just falls.
he's like Job. He keeps throwing them into the ocean.
Because I think he was scared it was gonna fly away, so he held on to it too tight.
Yeah.
That's a real fucking of mice and men move right there.
God. That has to like seriously like fuck up a kid.
Yeah.
You killed a dove.
Ah, it's not the end of the
Yeah.
world.
It's not like it's a bald eagle.
Yeah.
You killed something with your hands as a child.
What if he got the taste for it then? He's like, well, now I have to kill more things.
Yeah. Ugh.
And yeah, so the dove flies, and then the aliens. Oh, by the way, I like the ambassador alien.
Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
So there's like two leaders. There's the ambassador who wears the red cape,
Yeah.
and then the leader who wears the purple cape. And the
I
ambassador.
couldn't find that one. I have the purple cape one.
Yeah.
And it took
okay.
me a really long time to find these toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they they just immediately just start opening fire.
Yeah, and killing everybody.
And I love that they want it like gory deaths, but they made it PG-13 enough where they like dissolve into red or
But
green
that's what
skeletons.
happened in the cards too.
Oh, okay.
That's what they did in the cards.
Yeah.
But the skeletons are great because they turn into red or green skeletons.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're obviously Halloween store skeletons.
Yeah.
Which was great about it because do you ever see Teenagers from Outer Space?
Yes.
Yes.
When they zap them and they turn into skeletons,
Yes.
it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. So you have this great combination of like a big effects scene where there's explosions and people running, and then these CGI characters. I was like, this is a nice mashup because I can't remember if Tim Burton had really worked with CGI. I'm sure there was CGI in Batman Returns.
Very little. I remember the shields in the Batman looked
Yeah.
digital. The Batmobile but I'm not sure. This would have been the first heavy
Exactly,
CGI
yeah.
one. And I guess, you know what? He did adapt to it well, and now his movies are mostly CGI.
I know.
Yeah.
Again, fucking Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
man. And Dumbo, like.
But
I didn't even see it.
the
I don't
one
wanna
thing
see
about
it.
this scene, I have to check, but I'm pretty sure when all the stuff's going on, when they cut to the wide shot, the aliens just aren't there.
Yeah.
Because I guess they were like,
Yeah.
they're like, this shot's so quick, no one will notice.
But I
No,
also-
no
They weren't there at all.
assholes
But
and
I-
on a YouTube show are going to point it out.
I also think that might have been intentional.
Maybe.
Because if you're doing a Plan 9 teenagers
Yeah,
from
I
outer
guess
space
so.
kind of thing, because even later when they use the stock footage, like it would make perfect sense.
I guess.
It
so.
it didn't feel off when it showed it to me. At least.
Oh
like,
no,
you
goes
look
by
at
so
it goes
fast.
by fast, but I
Yeah.
noticed it, but I laughed about
Yeah.
it too because
Yeah,
I was like,
it's not a-
you know, and because Tim Burton, again, he said that War of the Gargantuas is like one of his favorite movies
That's a
of
good
all
one.
time, you
That's a good
know?
one.
So somebody who gets this same bullshit that you and I grew up
Yeah.
on and sought out, you know?
Yeah, and then this is where Michael J. Fox dies.
Oh,
Oh
it's
my
great because
gosh,
they're holding
his
hands.
hand.
And then for some,
It reminds
And
me of, remember when we were in Joe Lascola's short film? Joe Lascola,
yeah.
who, from Movie Dumpster, made a short film called Field of Screams, which is like an 80s
Yeah.
slasher about an umpire. And Crystal and I play like a couple in the woods. And I'm like, come on, let's go, because there's a killer coming. I take her. I'm sorry, I was gonna grab your hand like for real.
God.
And I grab your hand and look back, and you're gone, but I'm holding your severed
Just my-
arm,
yeah.
and I start screaming, and then the killer gets me.
a much better severed hand than the one in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Jurassic Park is one of the best special effects movie of all time, but Samuel Jackson's fake arm is the fakest looking
My favorite
thing I've
is
ever seen.
the ending of the first Hatchet.
Okay,
where
I've only ever
I
seen the
don't-
fourth one
the
with
girls-
Victor Crowley.
Same.
There's
yeah.
a fight. There's a fight on a boat, and DJ Qualls is on top fighting, and the girl falls into the water, and you think that Kane Hodder's character is killed, and the hand comes down to grab her to pull her up out of the water, and when it comes up out of the water, he's alive, and he's just holding the hand to get her, you know?
That's funny.
But yeah, they kidnap Sarah Jessica Parker
They do, and her dog.
and her dog.
Dog is
Dog.
right there. It's just like out of all
Yeah.
the people you kidnap,
Yeah. Oh, and Jack Black dies.
Jack Black
Jack
does
Black
die.
does
But I
die.
love
Tries-
he
He tries to
shoot-
shoot, and the fucking
Yeah,
the cartridge
but
falls
then
out.
he surrenders in the last moment, and this is funny because he grabs the
Grabs
American
the
flag
flag,
and he goes,
yeah.
"I surrender." Then he dies, and I love Joe Don Baker's like, "Nah, it's not happening." He's
He
trying to turn
changes
it
the
on.
Yeah,
channel.
it changes
It reminded
channel.
me of
It's on
Street
every
Fighter,
Yeah.
where the car is coming towards him, so they change the channel.
But it's real funny. When you look at the shrine later in the movie, they have like a magazine cover with him holding the American flag, like a hero.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he was like, "I surrender."
Yep.
So yeah, they try to debate like what happened. They're like, "What happened here? How did this get screwed up?" Because they said they come in peace, and then
Yeah.
Natalie Portman's like, maybe they don't like doves. So then the president's like, "Hey, we're assuming that's a misunderstanding.
Yeah,
we
so
could be
dumb. And
together."
it's the guy's still saying we should fire missiles at them and destroy
yeah, yeah.
them.
But no, they're just
No,
like,
the scientist guy. Nope, it's a misunderstanding. They're
Yeah.
smart. They come in. They said they come in peace.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So he sends the message to the aliens, It's like, we should live together and whatnot. And I love that on the ship, the aliens are all just rocking Speedos.
It's so great that the aliens, not only are they just dicks,
Yeah.
they're also
Yes.
perverts.
Yeah.
They're all like naked except for like little satin red panties.
Yeah.
And the ambassador's reading Playboy.
But I love they give them the message, and they're just like, like, what a bunch of idiots. And then I think around this time is when they're doing the autopsy on the alien, and it is
Yeah.
a practical, like,
Yeah.
when they're dead, they actually use practical effects,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. But I like, what did they say? They have no sex
They have no
organs?
sex
No
organs,
sex
yeah.
organs.
But they're
Yeah.
super perverted.
And they're full of green goo.
But then again, Pierce Brosnan's character is an
Is an
idiot.
idiot,
So
yeah.
there's probably something that is a sex organ that he doesn't.
But I love their
Yeah.
costumes. They also have the dome helmets on,
Yeah.
which is fucking great.
Yeah. So the aliens, they just don't care, and also they're
No.
into human women, which
Yeah.
confuses me.
Because they put Sarah Michelle Gellar,
Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
they put Phoebe Cates into a silver bikini,
Yeah.
Right.
and she's in like the This Island Earth tube,
Yes.
which I thought was great.
Actually, no, I don't think they put her. She was wearing a lot of silver stuff before that. I
Oh,
think
but
that
she
might
has,
have
like-
Might have been her like lingerie.
it might have been like underneath.
I
her
like
Because
the
then why would
idea
they just
more
have
that they
that?
just. Well, why did the fucking Ewoks have a Leia-sized dress in
that is
Return of
true.
the Jedi?
That is true.
They clearly ate the last woman who was there.
Yeah, and then just for fun, we realized they just do experiments to be assholes.
Yeah.
The assholes. Yeah.
But a lot of the equipment on their ship is the equipment from fucking Edward Scissorhands from Vincent Price's lab. Because
Yeah.
I was telling you guys earlier, when Jack Nicholson gets out of the chemicals in Batman, he goes to get plastic surgery. All of the tools on the thing are from 1986's Little Shop of Horrors, the Frank Oz one.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It's funny because those tools are in Little Shop of Horrors. Jack Nicholson was in the original Little Shop of Horrors that Roger
Yes.
Corman did in a weekend because he bet somebody he can make a movie in a weekend.
That's a great one, though.
I remember reading the thing a long time ago, but it's not true. They're like, yeah, the clown in there is from Batman Returns, but if you look at it, it's not a clown from Batman Returns. Because there's just a clown in a jar. But yeah, so they're...
Killing children. Isn't that kind of mean? And
He's like, isn't that a little... And he goes, that's a lot.
Yeah, he shoots a clown.
That guy's in Roadhouse.
Yes,
anyway,
he is.
So yeah, they switch the head. They put the chihuahua on her body and
Which is
whatnot.
petrifying.
Yeah,
And,
but if you look in that room, there's just pieces of other aliens. So they've done this before. They've
Yes.
gone to other planets and
Yes,
just
this is what they do. They're just
tortured.
assholes.
But like, why did it take so long for them to get to Earth? They're right
Because
next to it.
I have the framed poster of this movie in my hallway, and it says, "Nice planet, think we'll take it."
Yeah.
Is that- but yeah, because Pierce Brosnan's heart is still pumping, but it's connected to like fucking janky wires.
Yes.
Like-
But wait, he didn't get kidnapped yet.
oh
But that
yeah,
does
but
happen.
later on,
Well.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I really like this movie. You know?
As a kid, so I was super, super tiny when I saw this, and it's actually kind of scary to a kid. Like seeing the aliens and the head being switched as a young child, it kind of freaked me out.
Yeah. You know
what's
I enjoyed
weird?
it so much more as an adult.
you know what's weird? I just remembered this. I don't know. This has nothing to do with anything. The day I saw this movie was also the first day I ate at a Boston market, which meant it was called Boston Chicken.
Yeah.
It was
I don't
called
know.
Boston Chicken?
Yeah.
I didn't
it used to
know
be called
that.
Boston Chicken.
I used to run a Blockbuster, and there was a Boston with Boston Chicken in front of us.
Yeah.
And I don't know what used to be going on in the back, but whoever was doing the dishes, they would have to wear like rain ponchos, like they were fucking like in the perfect storm.
Yeah.
And I would look in the back when getting my chicken sandwich. I'm like, what's going on back there?
Yeah, but I don't know why I just I remember it was
weird.
me and my grandfather. We ate at Boston Chicken. We went to see Mars Attacks.
Is Boston Market still a thing?
It is.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
really?
Yeah,
I
there's
wasn't
one on,
allowed to have.
611.
Oh.
I wasn't allowed to have Boston Market as a kid. I don't know why.
Because
My
they're
mom.
like, you're never gonna grow up taller than Newt, and you're like, who's Newt? And you're like, don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry. But yeah, I didn't have Boston Market until probably the first time a year ago. It's
Really?
the first
Yeah.
time I read Boston Market.
I
was
didn't know
probably
it was
a
I
year
haven't
ago.
had it
thing.
in years, but
Yeah.
I remember really. Yeah, but I don't know why I remember. Like, why the fuck do I have that memory of going
Let's
to Boston
go,
Market?
when this episode airs, let's go to Boston Market and take a picture.
Yes, it's
So-
good.
So they they invite the aliens back
Yeah.
to Congress.
Yes,
To the Capitol building. And what was it called? The president wants to be there. Martin Short's like, oh, they're worried about the legislative branch and the executive branch being in the same room. They're overreacting. But I love the signs they have. It's like no applause.
No birds.
No
birds.
birds.
yes.
And this is great. I love this fake out where they bring him in, the ambassador, and he reaches in like, oh no, and then he's reading the thing.
Yeah.
And then he just does it again. He just starts shooting. So it's like,
so
all right, there's
good.
clearly, and I love Natalie Portman's like, I guess it wasn't the bird.
Yeah.
And
But
my
it's all
favorite reaction is the grandmother. just
grandma.
going, they blew up Congress.
But I like that all the Congress members are they put out a casting call and said, we need
Old
60-year-old
white
white
men.
men with white hair.
Yes.
Because when they all
It all
lean the
looks-
first time,
all
everyone
look
looks
the same.
and I'm not saying all white people look the same, but a lot of these people look the same.
I just realized I want to do this. I want to cut in Batman v Superman, where the Congress gets blown up, but then it like cuts to the old
That lady? I said that when that movie came out. I said that on Facebook.
amazing.
And a lot of people are like, well, we've never seen Mars Attacks. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then, yeah.
It's a cult film now, though.
Yeah.
It's a cult film now.
I used to have a 35 millimeter print of it, and no one ever wanted to watch it. They're like, oh, that's a bad Tim Burton movie.
It was randomly brought up in a conversation I had with someone last weekend. They're
Really?
like, oh,
Yeah.
do you like Mars Attacks? And I was like, yeah, who doesn't?
There's the MC Lars song, Mars Attacks. You ever heard
Oh,
that before?
yeah.
It's pretty good.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But yeah.
And when I was watching this movie, I knew that scene was coming, and I was like, What is he gonna say?
Yeah.
How is he gonna embarrass us this time?
Then we see the war room.
Which again looks straight out of
Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it does.
Which is a huge set. Like, you're right. The set design in this was insane.
Yeah.
Is this when they're...
I like how the whole map of the world is all backlit and neon.
Yeah.
And then later on in the movie, the parts of the world that were taken out are not lit up. Like,
So yeah, they're in the war room, and whatchamacallit, Rob Steiger's like, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to destroy him. I love when he just goes, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Kill! Kill! Kill!
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! And I also love, I want the people to know we still have 2 out of 3 badges, and that's not bad.
I said that the day that thing happened, and people were like, a little too soon. Oh, earlier in the movie, did we get to that yet?
Which one?
Did we get to the part where Jack Nicholson goes on TV?
Yes, and he looks like the, he looks like the
right
Joker
out
at
of
the end
the
of
scene
Batman.
from Batman,
Dies.
and he's like,
And
me in one corner and the other corner, the Batman.
And you know what? There was a deleted scene where the Martians are watching that, and then the Martian has a memory that his Martian parents were killed by
yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
It always bothered me
that
when he
makes more
goes,
sense.
I've taken off my makeup.
And it's like,
Let's
no, you
see
put
if
it
you
on."
can take off yours. But I was like, Batman only wears eye makeup,
He
and you're not
does.
supposed to believe that's
It
eye
also
makeup.
bothers me when he says tights, and it's like, those aren't
Those
tights.
aren't-
Well, that's
It's
later
leather.
on.
I'm like, was that in the script and they just didn't adjust it? Anyway.
Hubba, 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 money, money, money. Who do you trust? Me? I'm giving away free money.
Yes, you've seen Batman. Shut up.
I think I can quote every fucking line of
I
that
couldn't
movie.
Of
too.
course you can.
I don't like that movie as much as you, but I could quote every goddamn line. But
I
let's keep
love that
going. Let's keep
movie.
going. Let's
Anyway.
keep going.
Oh, we didn't say the scientist was also taken by the alien.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And,
And then it's
his head is a fucking...
just the head just floating.
like
and then,
the brain that wouldn't die.
yes,
die,
it is.
yep.
It's exactly like that.
Which I'm really upset. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before, but I did a show called Mummy Cop. And season 2 ends, we killed the main mafia boss, Lisa Cannoli.
Yeah.
But we had an end credit thing where she became the brain that wouldn't die in a jar, and we never got to do a season 3 and follow up.
My
Because
friend-
I love the brain that wouldn't die.
My friend Joe Pincushion, she was in our Paperboy 3 short film. She does a character, or did a character, which was like a brain that wouldn't die horror hostess character.
Oh, that's funny.
And our friend Steve Sestelli, who does all of our artwork, he did a beautiful piece of artwork for her.
Oh,
of
that's
that.
cool.
But she has the Frankenstein design that I came up with, so it's a point of contention because the art. When we did the episode where we mentioned Planet Frankenstein, I said we're gonna put up a picture of Crystal, and then we didn't do it. So please, whoever's editing this episode, put the.
Look, I forgot.
It took
It
6 hours to get that makeup together
So Lisa Marie shows up, and she was sewn into her suit, like you
and
said.
vacuum formed, just like
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer was in Batman Returns.
Yes,
They
yes.
vacuum into her costume.
And I love the way she like moves.
She
She was
glides.
great.
She glides because I
That
guess
was
she doesn't
great.
have feet. I guess it's
Yeah.
like.
But I love that Martin Short pulls up in the limo, puts the window down, and he's like, "Oh, would you like to go to the White House?" And then the other window goes down, and the White House is perfectly lit,
yeah,
and she's constantly chewing
gum. Yeah, which they explain later. Which I'm glad they didn't even have to.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they explained it later. But yeah, he brings her to the
Kennedy room.
Yes.
I found out a conspiracy about Kennedy.
Uh-oh.
Not the one you're thinking. No,
Yeah.
well, there's a lot of Kennedy
lot.
conspiracies. But I heard that the reason he was killed was that he was too sexy to be president. And a very close friend told me that. And I think he's a reliable source. His name is Crippled Jesus. And he
Oh.
hasn't steered me wrong yet.
Does that mean you can never be president?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Damn it.
God damn it.
Damn
I
it.
knew that was your goal. I knew
That's
you were
the only
so
reason we
close.
were doing this show was that so we could make you president.
Yeah.
God damn it. Anyway.
Let's
Cancel the show
yeah,
now.
we're not doing
There's
it
no
anymore.
point.
So we used to have I used to have a comic book store. We used to have a customer who came in and would have crazy conspiracy theories. The government only kept pennies in circulation so they could get our fingerprints. Similac was created to sexualize women because they would grow up and have curves. And that he said that his conspiracy theory about the Kennedys was exactly the third act of Ready or Not, the movie with fake Margot
yeah.
Robbie, where the Kennedy
Sam Weaving.
Yeah.
the Kennedy patriarch made a deal with the devil for bootlegging to get them famous, but every other descendant would have to pay with their soul. And that's something that he believed. So my boss was this big dude with long blonde hair, and we would just stand there and go, and we had that look on our face. My grandmother used to have a pet bird.
Yeah.
And whenever the phone would ring, the bird would go. And we both did that while this guy, when he would come into, and we would see him coming out of Macy's, and we go, oh, what kind of batshit crazy insanity is he going to tell us about today?
So 10 hours later, we're back.
10
we're
hours
still
later.
on Martin Short, Lisa Marie.
My head.
And Lisa Marie is the most recognizable thing in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
well,
most.
she's on the goddamn cover.
She is.
It's the most Tim Burton character.
Yeah.
but
with
it is really, really cool looking.
Yeah.
She looks awesome.
She's got an action figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how the action figure comes with the
The
eyeball
eye ring. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
really cool.
So she
This one got smashed when it got delivered to me. I know.
So yeah, she gets into a fight with Martin Short, and like half her face comes off, and you see the alien mouth underneath.
Well, Martin Short's in the Kennedy room, and the Kennedy room is like, it looks like fucking what's the Family Guy neighbor? The
Quagmire.
Quagmire. It looks like his house.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
With I love the shot looking through the fish tank of the two of them.
I was waiting for the bed to start turning.
Exactly.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize.
So so they get into a fight, and he rips her face, and you see the alien jaw underneath.
They don't get into a fight.
Well, yeah, she bites his fingers
Yeah,
off.
she bites his
Yeah.
finger off and
Because
spits it
he's
into the fish
yeah.
tank.
Yeah.
Well, that part, yeah.
I don't stick anything near Lisa Marie's mouth.
No. It's poor
Oh, yeah,
fish.
she kills him, and then she sneaks into the president's room.
Yeah.
And she's about to kill them, but the dog wakes him up, and then the dog dies.
Well, I mean, and that is
dog
the
dies.
card I have. One of the cards I have. Is
Oh,
the
yeah?
dog gets vaporized. Yeah, that was
a
the one.
card?
Yeah.
And then, so the alien, it takes Jack Nicholson hostage.
Yes.
Well, they rip her. At this
Yeah.
point, it's Lisa
Oh,
Marie's
yeah,
body with the actual Mars Attacks head, and
Yeah.
it looks good.
Yeah, it looks
because
really
I was
nice.
thinking about the beginning of Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight.
Oh,
remember when the
God.
Crypt Keeper has a normal body?
digitally-
It's so bad looking.
So bad. But anyway, I love that. I think the aliens really do hate birds because it has everything it needs.
It does.
And it
And then a
sees
bird, a bird chirps, and it's like,
Yeah. And then they get the alien.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And the aliens are like upset about this.
Yeah.
So they just start
Yeah.
launching their full on
And the
invasion.
reason that she was chewing gum was the gum had oxygen in it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
You know?
And I love this whole scene of like the aliens getting suited up. They have like a thing that smashes
Smashes.
the outfits
And it's
on
so
them.
fucking Tim Burton.
And they're,
It
it's
is.
just, they're all doing the same animation.
Grabbing
So
the
cool.
guns
Yes.
over and
Yeah.
over again.
One of them gets in a big robot suit, and you were
Yep.
talking about they should have made a video game, but we found out that Mars Attacks
had a
came,
PC game.
It came, so this, they also did this with Independence Day. The toys came with floppy disks, and they were called mission disks, and you would do a little mini game on them, and they were terrible.
I love that they use the Martian flag.
They do.
Yeah.
So I was out of toys at the point when this movie came out in 97 because I was 44 years old.
Yes.
But I really wanted these just to
Yeah.
have because like my room when I was like in middle school and high school was just covered floor to ceiling in B-movie posters. I would get all the replicas and shit.
Yeah.
So when these came out, these were the ones that look like the movie. But then
Yeah.
when the movie failed, they rebranded them and they made them scarier looking. Like
I remember
the
my friend
cards.
had like a Mars
Really?
Attacks toy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't look like the movie. Like, that looks creepy.
Because even the Martian bride or whatever, she wasn't from the original cards. She was from the 90s cards, but Tim
Yeah.
Burton loved it, so he put it in that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I love when the aliens are finally doing their all-out attack. I love
I love it.
I love they're trying to knock over the Washington Monument, but then the Cub Scouts run the other way. So then they like come back and they're trying to. They're taking a picture at the Taj Mahal.
And then while it's blowing up, yeah.
Oh, they're bowling.
Go full chorus.
Oh, on Rapa Nui.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Easter Island. And then all of these scenes also cut into stock footage
Yes.
from Ghostbusters
Yeah.
2, Godzilla, and
King Kong
76.
Yes.
And I
yes.
love that they didn't, like the stock footage, the film grain is not going to match. And that was what I liked so much about it. And then it cuts to them watching a Godzilla movie on the TV in their ship.
And I love when the White House is getting attacked.
Yeah.
Because then
Yes.
Jim Brown and Pam Greer's kids, they get a gun from a dead alien.
Yeah.
And they're like saving the president.
Because of the video game.
Yeah.
They're like, get
Yes.
the president back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love, like, as they're running away, one, they get separated from Natalie Portman. They're like, we lost Taffy. And they just keep going. But I love the chandelier falls and Glenn Close just turns into a rubber dummy. Like, it's so obvious.
So bad, but so good.
Take that, Cruella.
Oh, I love it.
Do you know that she hates dogs because her mother was killed by dogs?
Yeah,
I didn't see Cruella.
Apparently.
I didn't. But I like it.
Well, I know why you didn't watch Cruella, but keep going.
Wait, why?
Again, joke for off camera.
God
So yeah,
But I love it when they're in Vegas and the backup singers. They're
So
they get
Tom Jones shows up,
yeah.
and Tom
fucking
Jones.
amazing.
Tom
Yeah.
Jones.
Why not? 30
Why?
minutes before your movie's
Yes.
done, just throw Tom Jones in there.
And I mean, so Tom Jones wrote and sang my 5th favorite song of all time.
Okay.
Delilah is my 5th favorite song of all time.
Okay.
I fucking love that song, you know?
Yeah, but I love that the aliens just want to be his background.
The lights
singers.
go out
Yeah.
because his background singers, the lights go out, when they come back on, the
They're all
aliens are dancing.
Yeah. That's amazing.
But we skipped ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we go to the Galaxy Casino where evil Jack Nicholson is like, we're going to do this.
But okay, so this is the whole thing. Very American way of doing things. School trips are still taking place after alien invasions happen. Business meetings are still happening, but I love that in this scene, the business meeting is happening while the attack is going on outside.
Yeah,
It would almost be like in Return of the Jedi when the second assault on the Death Star is happening and they're negotiating. Like,
And I love Race Howard is like, we should probably leave. He's like, let me tell you here. I got to tell you about
and
this.
so Race Howard is Ron Howard
Ron
and
Howard's
Clint
like- he was
Howard's
in
dad.
Ed Wood,
He's in
yeah.
Ed Wood. I was
He's also in Married with Children.
He is in Married with Children. Yeah.
He had an episode.
And
I
somehow,
love that show.
somehow Ron Howard had Bryce Dallas Howard. It doesn't make any sense how, like, their mother must be really attractive and the genes just overpowered because Bryce Dallas Howard is beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she
At
runs-
any size.
Yeah.
Because sometimes she's thin, sometimes she's got that thick mommy bod. And, I'm
And she
Right.
runs really well in high heels from dinosaurs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the casino explosion was awesome.
Yes.
It
And it was a
was.
real implosion.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's what
what?
they said. yeah.
So when the casino implodes, they went to Vegas to a casino that was exploded, like that they were going to get rid of. They filmed it and they just day for nighted it, and they composited in people and running away
Yeah.
from it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
super
really good
cool.
explosion. Yeah.
There's also what is it? On Mount Rushmore, there's also that.
Yes.
Yeah.
From Superman 2.
Superman 2. Yeah. In Superman 2, they go to Mount Rushmore and they laser in Zod and all their faces.
I'm really mad that Zack Snyder wouldn't try to recreate that. I mean,
Imagine if he did, though.
yeah.
Like, what would
I'm
you
mad
think?
that the donor cut doesn't include it. If I was Richard Donner, I'd be like, oh yeah, that was mine. Just
No, all
lie.
that movie has is toothpaste going back in the tube.
Yeah.
You came to that. Remember when I did Superman and Superman 2?
I do.
Because when the summer that the Dark Knight came out,
Yeah.
I was running the Pittman Theater and we were going to do a Batman triple feature.
Yep.
We were going to do Batman, Batman Returns, and Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah.
And they gave me 3 35mm prints. I paid for them. A week before it happened, they go, oh yeah, Warner Brothers is pulling all Batman movies because they're trying to get Dark Knight into the Oscars.
Yeah.
So they said, we can give you Superman and Superman 2. And they sent me a 35mm print of Superman 2, which I had no idea even existed. Because I remember when the DVD came out
Yeah.
and it was just the black with that.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of people who bought tickets because like, oh my God, 3 Batman movies. And we had to be like, hey guys, we're doing 2 Superman
Superman.
movies. And I had to go up on stage and like talk
Yep.
for a super long time.
That's
and
like when
Yup.
I went to go see John Carpenter at the Trocadero and they failed to mention it was over Skype.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, that's disappointing.
yeah.
Mm.
Didn't find out until the Trocadero was no longer around. First Dick Show Road Rage was at the
Oh,
Trocadero.
really?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I love when they're chasing them around the city. It's like, do not run.
We are your
Your
friends.
Don't run. We are your friends.
It just reminds me of Return of the Living Dead. Send more cops.
Yeah.
Send more paramedics.
And then, oh, well, by the way, Danny DeVito's in this.
Yeah.
He had one scene at the very beginning, and now he's just back. And by the way, everyone's just teaming up now. Like,
Yeah.
Tom Jones, you're going to team up with Jim Brown and Nat
do you
Benning
know
and
how
then
to
the
fly?
waitress.
Do you know how to fly a an airplane? Yeah, sure, I'm Tom Jones, you know?
Yeah.
I was friends with Elvis.
Oh my gosh.
Freaking Danny DeVito's just tagging along.
Tom
with
Jones
them.
tells a story
Amazing.
where Elvis used to always sneak into the bathroom when he was pooping.
What?
And he would tell that story all the time, and Elvis is like, isn't it funny? And Tom Jones would be like, no.
No.
But then,
we missed the nuclear bomb.
Oh, yeah.
no, we didn't. We're not up to
did.
it
Not there yet.
It's
We're not. We're on
nuclear bomb happens.
the donut shop gets attacked
Yes.
first.
Okay. We
Okay.
went
Then-
completely out of order here.
Then
A lot's going on.
There's a lot going on.
No.
Go ahead.
Then this is my favorite. France calls and they're like, "Oh,
There's that.
we're gonna negotiate." And Jack Nicholson's like, "No, Maurice, get out of there!" And then they're all dead.
It's like the call is coming from inside the house.
And
This
then
reminded me of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode where because of the French, they launched a nuclear bomb at Springfield, and it has one of the greatest lines in history where fucking comic book man is walking down the street and he's like, Aquaman, you cannot marry a woman without gills. She doesn't come from your world. And then as it goes to hit him, he goes, oh, I wasted my life.
but
I feel like you really felt
Yeah, I
something
felt
there.
that one.
the France being destroyed is where he's like, "All right, I'm gonna launch the nuke."
Yeah.
This
Yes.
is where it happens. And what happens to the nuke, Crystal?
Their little machine comes out and just sucks it all up, and then
And then they inhale
he
it.
inhaled it like it was a
he do-
balloon.
like helium, and then they all
Yes.
laugh at it.
like it's
Again,
nothing.
the aliens are just assholes.
Yeah.
That's what I
are.
love
Oh, we
so
forgot
much.
to mention they breathe like nitrogen. That's what that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But the little thing that came out looked like something out of like Marvin the Martian. too.
Yeah.
But it was just so fucking funny. Like, again, like they don't want anything. They just want to be dicks, you know?
The giant robot is awesome.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yes. And
Yes.
it kills Christina Applegate, who has moved on from Jack Black. And I love that it picks up what's his face's parents. Just
The
like-
trailer.
But
and the
so
smashes
they
them.
watch her having sex with some guy,
Yeah.
and their
Yes.
domes are fogging up.
Yes. The
And,
aliens, they are creeps. They're assholes.
Yes. And
They're
then
fantastic.
Luke Haas's character is like, I gotta go save Grandma.
Yeah.
And he drives all the way over there, and they're about to kill her with the biggest gun in the world.
And they're like,
They're having so much fun. She
'Cause
has her
she's got
headphones
headphones
on.
and they're like, damn it, this is what... But it turns out her music, who is it again?
Slim Whitman.
Slim Whitman, his music, they can't handle it, so their
Yep.
brains
Their heads
just all explode.
And the particle effects of the slime inside
Yeah.
the dome is so good.
Oh, I really loved when the robot tripped on the electro wires, and
Oh,
you see him
yeah.
come out of the seat, and then he hits the windshield, and his brain splatters.
Yes.
And then Danny DeVito's like, "Screw you guys, I'm going back to the hotel."
Yeah.
And then he tries to give an alien his Rolex.
I'm a lawyer. You guys are going to need lawyers when
Yes.
you take over the world.
And then he's just dead.
Yeah.
They just shoot him, and it like lights up all the signs.
But like,
I love the place that they're at too. This sign place is an actual place in
Yeah,
Vegas, and
yep.
I've been
Yeah.
dying to actually go there. Like I said, all these places are like basically real, awesome,
Yeah.
iconic places.
that and the airplane graveyard in Tucson is another place I
Yeah.
Yeah.
always wanted to go.
So the aliens break into the war room,
Yeah.
and Rob Steiger's there.
Because so you were watching, so I watched this morning.
Yeah.
You were watching it later in the day. I came out in that scene and you
Yeah.
and I were laughing about it. And then Justin came in and we
Yeah.
all enjoyed this scene
Yes.
together.
But I love they just have a shrinking gun all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yes.
They shrink Rob Steiger down. Why aren't they using that more?
Well, they're like Batman.
Yeah,
They only
yeah.
use it one
Once.
time.
But then Jack Nicholson, he does this beautiful speech. Like all this fighting.
Earth.
We could be one. Earth,
and Mars together. But I love the things he's doing with his hands in this scene.
He's having
so
a
much.
lot
Yeah.
of fun with this
Yeah.
role.
He's fucking chewing the scenery again.
Yeah,
you know?
and it works. It works.
And it ends with the Rodney King line from the LA riots. He's like, why can't we all
just
get along? And then they cut to the... My favorite part before this is while the speech is going on, the Martians all look down like...
Yeah, they're like,
oh, why did we do this? And then they cut to the one Martian has a tear in his eye.
the leader.
But then they kill him anyway. So he's like, I know this is wrong, but we're fucking dickheads, so...
I think they were just crying to trick him because then they shake his
That's
hand.
exactly what
Which
it
is
was.
even
It was.
better.
Yes, it
And
was
then
to trick them.
the hand is like a gadget that stabs him and turns into the
And it just like his other hand just comes back. It's like, haha, fucker.
Well, because in Batman, he kills
Right,
the
right.
guy with the joy buzzer with a handshake. And it also reminded me of the chest burster a little bit from
Yeah.
Alien. And then the flag comes out.
I
Yeah.
love when the flag comes out.
Yeah, and then back at
was
the
great.
airfield, Jim Brown is like, I'm gonna fight these aliens.
Again, what it
This
reminded
was
me.
a great scene.
It reminded me of a Street Fighter 2 level.
Yeah.
Which makes me want a Mars Attacks video game where you play as the aliens.
Yeah, that'd
like
be fun.
that.
And you just go around different parts, like almost like Rampage, the original Rampage.
Yeah, well, there is a game, Destroy All Humans. Destroy All Humans too. It's very similar. to
Yeah,
that,
okay. Never mind then.
There's
I
also
think-
another
animated
one.
dude.
There's a zombie one.
Zombies
where
Ain't
you-
My Neighbors.
Zombies Ain't My
No,
Neighbors.
not that
No,
one.
no.
There's another one where you can play as the zombie.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jim
Plants
Brown
vs.
goes.
Zombies.
It's not, no.
Oh.
Jim Brown goes to fight. The ambassador takes off.
Takes off his fucking ceremonial robe.
Yeah,
my
and then
God,
he gets
it was so
knocked
great.
out. The Martian ambassador's just dead.
But I like how he's
He's
punching
just punching the helmet over
and their
over.
heads are bouncing around,
Yeah.
and it makes that beautiful
But-
dome sound.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
they're all
Why
like
don't
ready
they
for
just
a
shoot
fight.
him? Why
Yeah,
are they
because
actually trying to fight?
Because they love the fight. Like
Yeah.
you see, everyone's like they put down their guns. They're like, yeah.
But what were they doing on the airfield? It looked like they were doing calisthenics.
Oh yeah, they're like exercising.
They're like a Japanese business. Like everyone has to do calisthenics in the morning.
But Lucas realizes the Slim Whitman thing works, so he goes to a radio station
Yeah.
and broadcasts it.
And then
Ray
Pam-
J and his brother are putting boom boxes.
Yeah,
with it. It's just
they're
killing
walking
them.
through with the boombox and all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
How
great.
did and then all of a sudden the military knows? But how quick did this information spread?
I don't know.
Doesn't
That's why I was like,
matter.
how does the military now know that this specific music?
It's like the
goes
end of
like,
the. It's like the end of the Mist.
Yeah.
You know, except nobody has
Just
to kill their
everyone
kid.
oh,
I love what you call it, because they were flirting earlier in the movie. Sarah Jessica Parker and Pierce
Oh,
Brosnan.
my
They're like, "Were we
gosh.
flirting?" Yeah, I was. And then they like kiss as the UFO.
because both of their heads fall off.
Which is
Her
the
head
only-
is off the dog
Yeah.
at this point.
Which is the only miniature
Yeah.
UFO that crashes into the water, because I guess digital
And
water.
Justin was like, "How do you think they did that special effect?" And you and I both looked at him like,
what does that slob know
I
about
know,
special effects?
right?
Am I right?
But I love how the entire time there's goo dripping out of
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan's
Yes.
neck, which is great because her head comes off the dog, but the staples are still in it, which I think is just
That's
wonderful.
great.
So yeah, they're all dead.
Everyone's
all the
dead.
Martians
Everyone's
are dead.
dead.
Friggin' Natalie Portman
Is now the
talk about
president,
She's the president.
which I
yeah.
said was a Queen Amidala prequel. That's how she became the queen.
which I disagree with, by the way,
Yeah.
because we are not a monarchy.
We might
don't
be
just
now.
we don't just hand it down to the next person who's related to the leader. There's a voting. There's a chain of command. The military's still around, which means there has to be someone who's in line to be president,
Yeah.
not their daughter.
I said it's like King Ralph. Everybody dies, but like a distant nephew is John Goodman gets to be
Yeah.
the king of England.
I don't think Natalie Portman was the designated survivor. Is all I'm saying. Where was the designated survivor?
I don't know. They all
Everything's
seem
destroyed.
dead to me.
And the mariachi band
Yes.
that's playing is the same mariachi band that saved Bunny Breckenridge and Ed Wood from Mexico.
Yeah.
And he's like, the doctor was a quack. Our luggage was stolen. If it wasn't for these men. And then they start playing the music. Bill Murray's so good in that movie.
Dude, do yourself a favor. If you love Bill Murray in that movie, don't Google the real
Don't
life guy.
Google the real
Don't
Bunny
Google the real life
Breckenridge.
guy because
No.
that'll ruin Ed Wood for you.
Yeah. But again, that movie saved my life.
Yes.
And
But yeah,
what's her face is now because she's been wanting to get. What's her the Vegas girl?
Annette Bening?
Annette
Yeah,
Bening.
she's been wanting to go to this place because
Tahoe.
Tahoe, right,
She's
right.
going to Tahoe because no one's going to find anyone in Tahoe.
Again,
Because Tahoe's off the map, I guess?
a kooky fucking redhead with crystals.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't.
You were into crystals for a while.
I was never into crystals.
You-
That's true.
you're a
I was
crystal.
never into crystals.
Your name is Crystal.
Just because my name
To
is
be
a
fair,
stripper name does not mean I was
into crystal
crystals.
for 6 years.
Cut that.
No, leave
Cut
that
that.
in.
Cut
Leave
that.
that in.
Anyway,
Deep into crystal.
I love... cut that. I love Lucas's speech. Somehow he made it to DC. I'm not really sure what that's
Yeah.
about, but yeah, he gets the medal. I love
my
when she's
God,
like,
it was so
my,
good.
my parents who weren't able to be here today. It's like, well, they're dead.
Yeah.
But I love
They give it to the grandmom and she's like, don't let this happen again.
Maggie, don't let this happen again. But I love he's just like, yeah, we can build back and we should all live in teepees.
Yeah.
Because that's like better. It's not, but they never cut to the crowd.
No, because there was no crowd.
I feel like that was just like a reshoot that they
Yeah.
added.
And then she turns. You got a girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, damn.
I wish Natalie Portman was my girlfriend.
Nah, not now.
Well, like,
What do you mean not now?
No, she's still beautiful, but
Yeah.
seems like she'd be annoying.
I had a friend.
She's ridiculously smart.
yeah.
Yeah, but she seems like she'd be really annoying.
She wasn't
I'll take her. If you don't
you know what?
listen,
You know what?
listen.
Celebrities are annoying.
Well, to be
If you
fair,
don't want Natalie Portman, I'll take her.
I
You
have
can
a
it.
friend
Okay.
who used to look a lot like Natalie
She
Portman.
did,
Yes.
yeah.
nice.
Yeah. But she wasn't
I think
even
my
the best.
ex-girlfriend
She
was
wasn't even the
really-
best part of Black Swan, but she won an
Yeah.
Academy Award for it.
I had an ex-girlfriend I think was a little too into Natalie Portman. No.
Like
Is that why you don't
professional
like her?
era.
No. Like,
Did you ever see that SNL skit when she hosted, like in the early 2000s, and somebody stands up in the audience? They're like, "Do you still have any of your costumes from The Professional?" Why? I'm asking for a friend. It's like this creepy dude because she's like 11 in that movie.
Oh, that's creepy.
but yeah, they all end up. Well, Jim Brown makes it back to Pam Grier's
Yep.
house.
Well, that's at the very, very end.
Yes, and then no, the very end
That's at the very
is
very
Lake
end.
Tahoe.
Yes.
Yeah.
with Annette Bening, the Egyptian girl
Who has a ferret?
yeah, who
It's
has
the weirdest
Oh,
combination.
I love it. All the animals come out, and a hawk comes onto his head.
Tom Jones is good, and a hawk comes out,
beautiful.
and then he starts singing the
Singing.
animals dancing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck
That's
is
how
this?
it ends.
Annette Bening has deer walk up to her.
Yes.
Egyptian dancer
has
girl,
ferret, yeah.
a waitress girl, has a ferret, and he starts singing "It's Not Unusual."
Yeah.
and it's just like,
And then a bird is dancing
yeah,
with him.
I'm like, we're off the rails at this point,
I
and
love
I'm
it.
with it.
I love
it's like,
every
man,
bit
this
of
is
it.
how. It's
That
like they
is how
didn't
it
know how
is.
to end the movie. They're like, well, we got
That's
Tom
perfect.
Jones.
That is perfect.
But I love they show the wide shot of Lake Tahoe. Then it cuts. It looks like a Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
It looks like the set when they did the Falconer skits.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I am the Falconer.
Yeah, because Jim Brown goes back to Pam Grier, and she's like putting the stuff back in her house, and then they pull out, and half the house is missing. And then he steps on the head of
Yeah.
one of the dead Martians. So I like this movie a lot.
I love this
Yeah.
movie.
So I have an idea for a sequel.
I mean, I don't know how Crystal feels. She did throw my DVD copy
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Oh, I loved it so much.
No,
I had
she
to
just
throw it.
she
It was
hates
more of
she just
you.
hates physical media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So-
well, that's great that the third most popular co-host of Talking About Tapes hates physical
So
media.
when Macaulay Culkin was on the other show,
my good friend Macaulay
Your good friend
Culkin. I
Macaulay
remember
Culkin.
my good friend Macaulay
You guys are
Culkin.
good friends?
Yeah,
he,
we're good.
Justin, and I talked about Gremlins 3.
Yes.
And we came up with a pitch for Gremlins 3. And around that time, I
When were
came
you talking to Macaulay Culkin?
around the same time.
Wait.
Yeah.
You were there with him for like 3 days. When did you show up?
I was involved in other conversations that you weren't involved in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Newt's always there. You just don't know.
Okay.
I got a phone call.
He's a lurker.
Yeah, I got a phone call, and it was very bizarre because I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it turned into a whole email thing.
Okay, keep
And I'm not going to name drop because people go, "Oh, Newt's going to name drop."
Newt's name
It was-
dropping.
No, that was a completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
Go ahead, name drop.
we wrote a synopsis for Gremlins 3, and we showed it to people. And we had a really funny idea. At the same time, I said, well, I have a really good idea for Mars Attacks sequel, but it would be called Mars 2, Earth 0, Mars Attacks Again.
It's a good title.
That's a pretty good title.
A really
And
good
it's,
title.
you know, it's the same thing with Jaws 3, People Zero, Joe Dante's concept.
Yeah.
So outside of Tucson, Arizona, if you drive from Phoenix to Tucson, you'll keep seeing signs for The Thing. It's big yellow, The Thing in 10 miles, whatever. So when you get there, it's a gas station and a Dairy Queen. And you go into the gas station, and inside is a gift shop, and you pay your $1, whatever. I don't know what it is now. And you walk through this hallway, and it's full of like Mexican pottery, and apparently it's Hitler's car, but no one's there to verify it.
Yeah.
And when you get to the very end, there's a skeleton, a mummy in a glass sarcophagi.
And that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Okay.
And it's apparently fake. Now they've changed it recently because I watch a show called The Carpetbagger.
Yeah.
And he goes to like different places, and they change it to like aliens versus dinosaurs. There's like a whole narrative for it. So I had an idea that what if, because you know they left all the bodies behind?
Yeah.
What if someone made a way out of the way roadside attraction of Mars Attacks, and there's one of the bodies there?
Yeah.
And then some fucking dumbass YouTube influencers taking selfies, break the thing, and wake them up. And now it's guys in suits. You can make it super cheap, Blumhouse
Yeah.
style. So there's 4 or 5 zombie things out there, and they're trying to call home.
Yeah.
But what they come to find out is, that's why zombie movies don't make sense. There's way more guns in America
Yeah.
than zombies. So now the aliens are fucking on the run trying to get home. And you could do it super cheap and
That
have
could
a
be
bunch
pretty
of weird
fun.
characters. So Warner Brothers, TM, Newt Wallen, Schlock It All Films, Crystal and Newt. We're going to have a meeting. Please call us.
Yeah.
Mars 2, Earth 0, Mars Attacks Again. I have wanted to make that movie for the last few years.
I remember they said, I think Dinosaurs Attacks was considered, but
If
then
this
movie
made money,
flopped.
yeah.
Dinosaurs Attacks would have been
It
fun.
would have
That
been
would have
great.
been great.
But
That
yeah.
would have been great.
Yeah, Mars Attacks.
Great
movie.
Great movie.
I love
Absolutely
it.
great.
And I enjoyed talking about it with you people.
I
You're very
enjoyed
excited
talking
throughout
about-
this entire
You were
review.
excited to talk about a lot of things that will be Patreon exclusives.
Yeah. But yeah, this. Yeah.
Yeah.
We see how much you really love this movie.
I did no. It's just
You really
the whole
love this movie. I
the
kinda
whole-
let you.
You've read every.
It's a good
I've
movie to
read-
love.
You've read
It's a fun
every
movie.
script I've ever written.
Which is a lot.
I've watched so much. You and Tony and I are the same way. We've seen so much weird
Yeah.
shit, and little pieces of everything that you ever see stick to you. And it kind of, when you write something, go, oh, it's like this, oh, it's like that. I have a friend named Steve Carino who
Yeah.
made Planet
I know
Mirrorball.
Steve.
Yeah. He and I were great. It's the same thing with Justin. You can tell him a story and you can mention something like, oh, the lighting is like this 1979 7-Up commercial.
Yeah.
And people get it. And you don't have to, there's shorthand with people. And this movie feels like shorthand with people who are in the loop. They get it, what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be. And I've taken little pieces from this, from things that
I know.
Yeah, and it's become a cult classic, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah, it found its audience. I think.
Yeah, I remember like in high school, I had a bunch of friends that were like, "Oh, we love Mars Attacks."
I think,
Yeah,
and again,
movie's really
it
good,
just
man.
it came out way too close to Independence Day.
Yeah.
and I think that was its biggest.
But it's so
downfall.
different.
I know, but I,
I
think
know.
So
and it
different.
wasn't marketed like incorrectly. It was just people didn't want that. People wanted the Will
Yeah.
Smith, you know.
Yeah, this would have been a good like '80s movie. I mean, you wouldn't have been able to do a lot of the things.
Yeah.
I don't
but
think. No, not with the 80s.
it was a pretty good '80s or like 2000s movie.
Yeah.
it came out right when people like they didn't really want schlock. They
Yeah.
wanted big budget, serious
Spectacle,
like, yeah,
popcorn
Okay.
movie. They didn't want,
yeah.
you
they,
know,
they didn't want this.
and it came out at the perfect time for Tim Burton too. Again, coming off of Ed Wood, he wanted to make this kind of movie, and you know, and then there's movies that come out since then, like Lost Skeleton of Cadavra.
Well, I love
Yeah,
that.
it's
That's
a
one of my
great
favorite
movie.
I've never even heard of that.
Velocipaster
I
we
love
watched, you know.
Velocipaster was
Okay.
fun.
Black Dynamite, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Black Dynamite's fun.
Fucking Turbo Kid,
Yeah.
Manborg. There's just movies that are hodgepodges of things that people loved when they
Yeah.
were kids, and I'm a huge proponent of that. So
Yes.
yeah. So let's.
So
sign
you
off.
like this movie?
So that was
I
our-
like this movie a lot.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
So, check us out on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Please download our podcast feed. Again, we're filming these ahead of time, but
Yeah.
I think we're gonna figure out the issue. And by the time
this
comes
one
out,
comes out,
And
it should have
we
all
didn't
been
fix
figured
it?
out. But
Oof.
yeah, leave us voicemails at our voicemail line because
Leave
those
me
will be in the
voicemails.
podcast version of the episodes.
totally be creepy towards Crystal on the phone. Like, it's like, and then you hang up and they call back and they said, I said,
Great.
have been getting- we have
I
been
stole that from Student Bodies. You ever
Yeah.
see Student Bodies
I think
before?
so,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But yeah, we have been getting some good voicemails. We
Yeah.
want more. And yeah, check us out on all the other stuff you check us out on. And I've been a guest on several podcasts
Yeah.
recently, so
Because you're so famous.
because I'm so famous.
Nobody
and
asked me
important.
to do shit.
It's your problem,
I
not
know.
mine. And yes, like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.
Bye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.